So I decided to buy a brand new gas generator. This here is a WEN 8,000 starting watt, 6,500 running watt gas generator. I think it's gas only, no propane, but I paid 450 bucks for it with a rebate at Menards. As you can see, I have a creeper underneath of it right now because it's actually pretty heavy pushing this box around. I think it's about 150 pounds, but this was the best deal I could find for the size. So 6,500 running watts at 450 bucks. So now I've been wanting to get a good generator like this for a long time. There's a lot of reasons to have one, emergencies and powering tools, and they're portable and whatever. But one of the big things is that if you watch my video, especially my welding and fabrication stuff, I have a major problem with electrical in my garage. I have a 15 amp breaker at the panel and very small electric line going out to the garage here, so I can't up my breaker in the house to prevent it from tripping so much. So I'm kind of stuck in a weird spot. I either put in a new electric line or try out a generator, so I decided to go with the generator. I can take it with me anywhere, so kind of decided on that. But I have this titanium MiG 140, and in here is an Art Captain Cut 50 plasma cutter, both of which are amazing tools, but I cannot use either one of them in this garage. That is how bad my electric is. I can't use these for more than, 20 seconds, 30 seconds without the breaker tripping. It's that bad. So I had asked a lot of people online if a 6,500 running watt generator would be enough to power a titanium MiG 140. Half of the people said, oh yeah, no problem. The other half say, not a chance. So I kind of took a gamble on this thing with the size that it is. Hopefully I don't need like a 10,000 running watt or something like that. I have no idea. The only way to really find that out is to try it. So I'm gonna get this thing unboxed, do all the startup stuff since it's brand new, put the wheels on it and the oil and everything, and then we'll start it up and give it a test, see if it will run this stuff. That's what it looks like in the box, all fresh and new. Absolutely love buying new stuff. Yep, knew it. There's a handle, two of them actually, and then just the wheel kit. Instructions, wheels. And I absolutely love it when they give you funnels. I love these little funnels. Give you an 8 and a 10 mil. That's pretty easy to move. Better than pushing the box around on the concrete. Wonder if there's a secret jug of oil somewhere in this thing. I guess no oil. sure you add the oil. Capacity 30.4 fluid ounces. SAE 30 weight. Alright, so I got this Briggs & Stratton Premium 4-cycle SAE 30. This here is 48 fluid ounces, so I won't use all of this jug, but it takes most of it, 30.4 fluid ounces, so I'll have about 18 ounces left. Okay, oil's good. This tag right here tells you to remove the piece of styrofoam that was down there. I already kicked that out of there, so that's done. I got 2 gallons and 91 here, non-ethanol. So I'll add about half of this. I'll put at least a gallon in there so it's at a little less than 20% capacity, just to make sure it runs good and everything. Alright, before I start this thing up, let's take a look at it. Here's what the panel looks like. On, off, there's a low oil light, 12 volt cigarette plug there with the breaker switch. 30 amp 120 volt plug, which I have a 3-prong plug for that. Then you got the 4 standard 20 amp 120 volt outlets, and then there is the 4-prong 240 volt outlet as well. And then there's a voltage selector right now, 120, 240, or 120. So I guess that if you're running anything that's 120 volts, it's going to work regardless of what direction this is switched at. But if you want to run 240 volts, it's not going to work unless this is turned over to the 240. So then of course there's circuit breakers, 25 amp over here, 20 amp, 30 amp. Got the choke, that's run, that's choke on. This is a 340cc engine, which is pretty good size. I would think that's between 8 and 13 horsepower, somewhere in there, maybe 10, give or take. Looks really good, nice and fresh and new. There's a little thing for the ground, which, yeah, it says connect ground to earth before operating. I've never ever used a ground. I wonder if that causes issues if you don't. There's the side. Here's the top. Even has a little floaty deal in there to tell you how full it is. It's very close to E because I didn't even get it past 20% of its holding capacity. But you know what? I'm actually gonna make a grounding rod for this thing just for fun. That was full capacity, 130 amps. And did fine, so try out the other one. Alright, let's give the titanium welder a shot. So in my opinion, I think this is a good combo. I think this WEN generator works great, and I think it did a good job powering the titanium MiG 140. So this MiG 140 is only 10 amps stronger than my Art Captain MiG 130, but it seems like this machine takes a lot more power. It lays down a lot more wire quicker, and it has way deeper welds, so I just think it's a stronger welder. But anyway, I figured, you know, if this welder was too much for this generator, I kind of expected it to die, or at least set off the breaker. But my other generator, my 3500 watt Durastar or whatever it was, when I tried to run my Art Captain MiG 130, the other generator died right away. This generator is obviously a lot better. I also used this is a cord that I got from Harbor Freight. It's got the 3-prong on there, so I plugged this into the 3-prong outlet, and that one has a 30 amp breaker on it, whereas the normal 120 volt plug-ins are 20 amp on this machine. And both of them work, so I obviously didn't trip any of the breakers, which, you know, to give this thing an actual test, I really need to run that welder for a long time, just to kind of see, once everything gets really hot, see how it reacts, if it shuts off or trips the breaker or whatever. But it is nice. This is heavy duty cord, so if I want to leave this generator in the back of my truck and then run this cord and then take my welder somewhere and weld something, I can. This cord also has 3 plug-ins there, all at 30 amps, of course, and the line is really flat because you're able to stick this underneath of a door. So if you have to run a sump pump in a basement or whatever, you can put this under a door, or most doors, I guess. My homemade ground works great. Don't know if it really does a whole heck of a lot, but I guess it never hurts to do that. It's a good thing that I hold on to junk, because this little piece of metal I've had here, I've had that for over 10 years. I know exactly what it came off of. It was on a garden tractor that used a weird looking linkage to run the throttle, and somebody welded this little tube on there. But I've kept that forever, and I'm glad I did, because it works really well for holding the ground rod. I'm going to end the video here, but stay tuned, because I will get my plasma cutter out sometime and try to run that. I have to get a special cord, the 4-prong cord that goes into this, so you can choose the 240 volt option, which I believe that's a 30 amp as well, I think. Nope, 25 amp, I'm sorry. But I have to get a special cord to run my plasma cutter, and if you know, these cords are expensive. So once I get that cord, I will make a video seeing if my plasma cutter will run off of this generator, and then I can leave my 20-gallon air compressor on in my garage, going off of my garage electric, and then just run the plasma off of the generator. So looking forward to that. So like always, if you haven't already, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.